There's even more that's actually come out in the Sarah Boone case here, and it's a filing by the prosecution, and this is very interesting. And this was filed just recently, and this is a request from the state. They filed this on the 21st, so it's only a couple days old, but it's in the middle of trial. They want an in-camera hearing. And guys, in-camera hearing means no, it doesn't mean cameras. In-camera means in the judge's chambers in a private hearing to figure things out. In-camera does not, like I said, in-camera does not mean they want cameras there. But yes, the entire public would be excluded, but they want an in-camera hearing regarding the financial arrangements between the defendant and the defense team. So you're like, ooh, what does this mean? Well, gets a little interesting here. So they point out, and the prosecutor's making a couple of arguments here. And the first one is the defendant is indigent. And that's true. She is indigent. Sarah Boone cannot afford an attorney. She is indigent for purposes of determining her eligibility. She clearly doesn't work. She hasn't had a job. You know, it's been over 4 years. There's no way she can support an attorney on her own right now. And she's had multiple court-appointed counsel. All of her last couple of counsels before James Owens were appointed. She had several appointed lawyers. Currently, she is receiving funding money from the JAC because of her indigency. And because she's receiving that money for expert witnesses and for her private eye. So apparently only the investigator is being paid with JAC money. In the meantime, she has secured the services of 4 attorneys and a jury/trial consultant, and perhaps more people the state is unaware of at this time. The defense team is expending a tremendous amount of costs, having traveled from Milton, Florida to Orlando, Florida for a several-week trial. The entire team returned to Milton, Florida, and guys, we already talked about this. This is up on the Panhandle, but prior to the arrival of Hurricane Milton, and then travel back after it passed, incurring additional costs. Now, why is the state doing this? They're concerned about a potential conflict of interest between the defendant and her team. And why is that an issue there? Well, they're concerned, I think, ultimately, if that becomes a issue where she could argue my attorney screwed with me and ruined my ability to have a trial because they extorted me, or there was money involved, or there were problems. There are rules as far as conflicts of interest are concerned. You're not allowed to solicit gifts from clients. For example, if I was one of your guys' attorneys and I helped you write a will, and I'd been your attorney for 25 years, and you're like, oh, you've done so much good for me, Sean. You've helped my family out so much. You've counseled us. I want to square you up. You can't do it. You can award me a payment that's not in the will, but I can't take a testamentary gift. That's going to be a little awkward, and I wouldn't want to accept it that way either. I also can't, and more importantly, if you're awarding me a gift, I can't prepare the documents. So if you're going to give me money upon your death, I can't be the one who writes the will, because then it looks like I extorted you, or I exerted undue influence. I think they're worried that Sarah Boone has promised them the rights to her movie. Or like the rights to her story. I don't think that's happening here. I don't know what they think is happening, but certainly, they're going to ask, but I think at the end of the day, that's probably what they're arguing about. Now, they point out the only way for the court to know if there's an actual conflict of interest rather than a potential one is to review the financial arrangements between the defendant and her team. If there is a conflict, the defendant can waive it with clear, unequivocal, unambiguous language. And they said for the waiver to be valid, the record must show the defendant was aware of the conflict. The defendant realized the conflict could affect the defense, and the defendants knew of the right to obtain other counsel. Well, she has that right, but nobody else is going to work with her. And they want the court to conduct an in-camera examination of the financial arrangement to assure there is no actual conflict of interest. Fuck that. No way in hell would I agree to this. And I hope Sarah's attorneys say this is bullshit. because they shouldn't. I mean, if they have proof, fine, offer your proof. But for right now, her attorneys acknowledge we're working for free. This is absolute nonsense. The fact they want to try this. And I think they should be probably, rebuked for this, because this is a bullshit motion. So I don't know why they brought this up now. That's the other issue I'd bring up is it's been how long now when they're doing it? Like, you guys didn't know this before the trial was going to start? Like, you did. But anyways, yes, there are multiple attorneys on this team. You got James Owens, you got Kevin Beck, you've got Tony Henderson. Tony Henderson's the black guy. Kevin Beck's the guy in the back who comes in every once in a while, and James Owens is the lead on this. So I think this is a load of shit, and they don't have the right to examine it, absent actual evidence. Just saying, oh, I've got a shitty feeling about it. No, I don't want that to happen.